Good morning, everyone. This is Tara Sewell, internal wholesaler with Financial Markets. Thank you for joining us today. Your lines are muted for sound quality. If you have questions, please reach out to your internal wholesaler after the call. Today, we will be drawing a winner for our summer giveaway. Our winner will have their choice of a patio propane fire pit or a stainless steel gas grill. And today, we have a guest speaker from Nationwide discussing their Land as Your Legacy program. But before we get started, first things first, thank you. Thank you for your business. Together, we protect families, their financial futures, and their legacies. Congratulations to Norm. He was our March Madness winner. And congratulations to our runners-up. Our runners-up each received a USA-made solid maple cutting board. Today is our summer giveaway. You received one ticket for every application submitted from April 1st through July 12th. You earned double tickets for applications with our premier carriers and triple tickets if the case was placed paid by Friday, July 12th. Today, the odds are in your favor. We have 5,212 tickets in our hat today, and the tickets have been shuffling, so your name can only be drawn once, and you must be pre-registered and present for the duration of the call to be eligible to win. But before we get to today's drawing, we will learn about an incredible planning tool. I would like to introduce to you our guest, Tim Kohl, Regional Vice President within the Nationwide Retirement Institute Land as Your Legacy program. Tim?
Thank you, Tara. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's great to be with you today, and in the short time I have with you, I want to go through a program that Nationwide has for those agricultural families out in the country and how you can access the program and be able to help the families that are in your book of business. And it's called Land as Your Legacy. So let's get started. So this is our legal slide. I don't know if there's any legal eagles on there, but essentially, we're really not going to be talking about any product today. This is just a service that Nationwide as a company offers. You can kind of see why we offer this. It's pretty cool. So this is going to run through in just a short time we have together. It is a program that's offered to really anybody out in the field. We'll talk a little bit about why Nationwide's doing this, how you can preserve, farms and ranches across the country using the program, and we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive in the program as we go along here. So most of you may or may not know, you've worked with maybe a lot of carriers in your business, and maybe Nationwide is just a name you've heard of, but probably don't really know, the history of Nationwide, the heritage of Nationwide. Is a big part of why we're doing what we're doing when it comes to farm and ranch. So I'm going to pop in a slide here, and essentially, when we really dig deep down to it, people, on the call have probably heard our jingle, right? You've probably seen the commercials with Peyton Manning and Brad Paisley, right? But we might be insuring your farm, or maybe your home, maybe your car, right? So you know us that way. Most people don't know that Nationwide was started by farmers back almost 100 years ago. And it was really all about auto insurance back in the day, right? 1926, cars started to be more popular, but all the rates were the same. So today, we can really drill down into the zip code you live in and find out what your rate is. Back then, if you were in the big city or out in rural farmland, the rate was the same. So Nationwide, we got a $10,000 loan from the Ohio Farm Bureau and started Farm Bureau Mutual. That's how we started. In the 50s is when we changed the name to Nationwide. We were growing a lot, doing a lot of other things besides the auto insurance with farmers. And there were some regulation things that were coming up in Ohio, and the Farm Bureau said, hey, this might be a really good time for you to break away from us, which we did, and that's when we changed the name to Nationwide. But we've always been connected to agriculture. In the 80s, we bought a company called Farmland Insurance, which was a very established farm and ranch insurance producer out there. That became Nationwide's agribusiness, which is headquartered in Des Moines, Ohio. And then Land as Your Legacy, we actually started in 2011. And the genesis of it was a board member we had who was farming. He was farming with his brother. and he thought he was ready for transition for succession, essentially. And what happened was his brother passed away in kind of a freak farming accident, and as he's helping put those pieces back together, he realized he was out of his element. He wasn't ready because it was a complete nightmare. And so he goes back to the board at Nationwide and says, hey, this is what I just went through. We have to help other families not go through this. And so that was really the genesis of the program. So we're probably in the 1,500 range of families that we've completed cases for and helped. And, we're really ramping up right now, and probably we'll do another 200 to 300 this year. And we're growing great guns right now. So just a little history. It's kind of the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we helping farmers and ranchers? It's because that's who we are. That's where we come from. The only thing I want you to take away here on the slide is the top middle there. Again, as I said, this is a big deal of who we are. Our board of directors, 16 board members that run Nationwide, over half of them are active farmers. So that is their day job, right? Which is pretty cool. So again, we were started by farmers. We're essentially still run by farmers. And sometimes, I hear, oh man, Nationwide is so conservative. It's probably because, a little bit who we're run by, right? We're run by some farmers, and we're going to be, very strong company, going to be there when you need us, which is kind of cool. So there's a big opportunity out there when it comes to helping farmers and ranchers and those businesses that are ag-related out in the field. We see the operators getting older and older. If you look at that bottom stat, only 1 out of 3 families have a transition plan in place. It's 29% is actually the number. I will tell you that I think that number is actually too big. I think that number is probably in the 10 to 15% range that actually have a completed transition plan. We've probably included some people in that 29% that have a will and a trust and have done some estate planning, but they really haven't answered all the questions of what a transition plan is involved and what's in place there. So how are we helping in this category? So when a family comes to us and, hey, we'd love to have your help in putting together a transition plan because we'd like to get this operation from generation A to generation B, this is the way that we're going to help them do that. And these are 5 key elements, 5 areas that we focus in on when we help that family. And I'm just going to take a minute and kind of just run through them with you. Succession planning that's the people piece. We deal with the people first because transition planning is all about the people. So it's really identifying, hey, what's it going to take to get it from one generation to the next? If we take everybody's individual needs and wants out of it for a minute, what's in the best interest of this farm or ranch? Let the farm speak. Let the farm speak loud. Who would the farm like to have continue this operation? So that's the first thing we look at. And then we'll drop down, we'll look at the business. Okay, it's a sole proprietorship, but you got 2 kids that want to continue the operation. So what's going to be the best structure moving forward? And maybe if there's 4 kids, there's 4 children, and the operation is providing income right now for mom and dad, can we take that same income and spread it out over 4 families, right? So we're going to dig into that a little bit. The third area is risk management. Now, we're Nationwide. We are a risk manager. It's something that we do very well. So we're really trying to identify, is there anything here that could blow this thing up? A lot of times what we see is healthcare. Farmers and ranchers just don't take the time to look in, well, what if I become ill? Not that I've passed away, right? But I'm still here, but I've got some medical expenses that I hadn't really planned on where those are going to come from. And so we're really trying to say, hey, what here can, blow this thing up if we're looking at the big picture? So that's risk management. Financial independence, we could really probably call this mentorship. It's, creating the independence for mom and dad as they step away. And then they're as a senior operator, right, it's their job to kind of meld and mentor the next generation into the farm or ranch. And so that just kind of helps the continuity of that transition. And once we've dealt with those 4 things, then really for us, the last thing is estate planning. just making sure we've got the right documents in place that's going to carry out that orderly distribution, right, of assets upon death and settle any liabilities due at that time, and that's consistent with all the wishes of the family, right? Essentially, that's what that period is. So these are the 5 areas that we're really going to dig deep in and do a deep dive and focus in on, and this comes through in our output. You'll see all these elements in our output. So what are we looking for out there? I have 12 states. I cover the West. I'm in California, and I've got Montana down to New Mexico and everything west of there. There's 3 of us that cover the country. Lisa's in the middle of the country, and Lacey covers the East Coast. And so when I'm out there, I'm looking for advisors who, are really strong in their communities. A lot of times successful advisors with Land as Your Legacy kind of come from that world, but they've got a lot of ag clients. And so they kind of understand the mentality of the ag client. They're estate-minded. They're estate planners. They're that long-term, holistic type of planner is kind of what we're looking for typically. And we just see that the best ones kind of come from that world. So I spend a good chunk of my time trying to find the right people to work in the right areas. We've got this great team that works at Nationwide to help put these plans together. And I always like to say at this point in time that this service that we offer to your farm and ranch clients, we do not charge for this. So this is a complimentary service to that family. This goes back to our board and who we are as a company. It's our board saying, hey, we want to help farm families keep farming, keep ranching, but we are not going to charge them for a fee for this service. Now, there is a cost to it, right? But we're absorbing that cost. So this team comes alongside and really helps do most of the heavy lifting of putting these plans together and creating these customized plans for each family. We've got 3 financial planners, and then we got a part of our advanced consulting group. There's 16 of them. These 5 come over to do most of the heavy lifting for Land as Your Legacy. We've got this great team. We, like I said, we're up to 1,500 plans. We've been doing this since 2011. Got a pretty good idea of what the needs are of farming and ranching. Not to say that there's something that we haven't seen, but most likely we probably have seen that somewhere as we're working across the country. Just as an aside, I mean, we have lots of marketing materials that are out there. They're on our website. You'll see that website at the end here. This is just one of the pieces that we have. It's 16 key questions. Most advisors that work in the program said this is the best piece we have put together. It's just a conversation starter. It's a good place to start as you're helping a family kind of work through what does transition look like for them. And so these are the questions that we think are really important. In fact, we've taken these 16 questions and made its own website. And so somebody who's, more technologically advanced, maybe they're younger, they can go on the website and answer the questions as well as we have the hard copy too. So one of the neat things that we do in this realm is we've got, I always like to call 2 tracks. Our track 1 advisor is an advisor that's maybe just more transactionally based. He's helping clients with mutual funds or annuities or life insurance, long-term care, whatever. He's placing those solutions and he's making a commission for it, which is great. I always call those my track 1 advisors. And then our track 2 advisors are really like our CFPs, our planners, those that just do planning for every client. That's just kind of what they do. Those are my track 2 guys. And so one of the things we do, like for those track 1 guys, say, hey, I've got a ton of farm clients. I like to help them all that I can, but I'm not really a planner. We can still apply these guidelines. So if they are trying to help that family place some life insurance or long-term care insurance, we can apply these guidelines for that particular family. Things like height and weight. If they say, hey, I like to chew tobacco, great. We'll give them the standard non-tobacco rate. So it's really some underwriting guidelines that we apply when we know that we are working with a farmer or rancher, which is kind of cool. And by the way, they don't have to be a Nationwide policyholder for us to use this program. It could be any farmer or rancher or really an ag-related business that's out across the country. If that business is trying to get it to the next generation, right, that's where we can come in and help. All right, so transition planning, really quickly is what we're going to have the advisor do that are working with us. And I like to take this time to say that if at the end of this is something is of interest to you, reach out to your internal contact at Financial Markets. We will probably set up some trainings going forward. There is a 1-hour official training that we take advisors through, which is more process. Hey, what are you collecting? How do you get the documents to us? What's your responsibility? All that kind of. And so that'll be forthcoming for those on the call that are really have an interest in this program. So just kind of a broad base and kind of 30,000-foot view. The advisor that's working with those farm families, this is what we are going to have them collect. We have a fact finder that you can use. In there is a case summary, which is just the farm story. We're going to have you gather their balance sheets, their tax returns, and some planning documents. So it's very in-depth. And I like to say that really, there's no cost to the client other than a little bit of their time and their documents, right? That's their cost. And as any of you know that work with farmers, sometimes they'd like to keep things very close to the vest. So it's very hard for them sometimes to share some of these documents. But when we get these documents, we are going to be able to put together a really great comprehensive plan for that family so that they can ultimately get that operation to the next generation. We send out hard copies. They're in 3-reading binders, looking like the one on your screen here. We send out 3, and our idea is, hey, 1 for the advisor or the agent, 1 for the family, and then maybe 1 for the local professional, the attorney, the CPA, whoever is working with that family. And just a couple more slides here, as I know I'm probably running out of time, but one of the things in there is kind of a snapshot of the operation. Got a family org chart on there, some financials. We send this out first to the agent or advisor, say, hey, can you just verify that we've got the right information here? We want to make sure that we're working off of correct information to be able to do the best job for them when we're putting together the plan. So that's kind of step 1. And then just a couple of pieces that might be in there. Maybe a buy-sell agreement is going to be the best way to approach that operation transition. Now with the Connolly decision that just came out last week from the Supreme Court, maybe buy-sell is not the way to go, but maybe it's going to be cross-purchase, right? So we kind of work through all those type of strategies. And then what I like to say is we always put together a checklist in every hour plan. This is where your work starts. Up to this point in time, you've gathered those documents and maybe had a nice conversation with the family, but we've been doing all this work for 6 to 8 weeks. We get this plan in your place, and now your work starts where you help them implement this plan, and we've got a checklist for you and the family to kind of work through step by step, because we know this is going to take 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, right, 1.5 years, depending on the family and being able to get to the other professionals, right, and their schedules and things like that. So what's a good fit for us? I think, all these things, if there's a family that's getting ready for transition, we see that a lot of families have nothing in place right now for this, and so it could be a disaster if somebody happens to pass away unexpectedly or too soon. The other thing I think that comes into play here is, is there a next generation, right? So can this thing get really messy because they've got 1 child that wants to continue and 3 that don't? Right, so you've got a state equalization issue going on there because mom and dad want to be fair, right? But fair is not always equal. So how do we equalize that state? The other thing I think is really important is cash flow. Does the family have cash flow? Because, even though we're not charging them to put together the plan, when they go to implement it, there's going to be some cost there, right? You need to bring in the attorney. There's going to be some cost there. We need to bring the CPA in. Maybe we're going to open up an S Corp and separate the land from the equipment. There's going to be a cost there. Ultimately, if they're maybe going to set up an ILIT, irrevocable life insurance trust, they're going to fund it with insurance. There's going to be some premiums that need to be paid. So they need to have some cash flow, right? So I think that's a pretty big part. There's a point that's not on this slide, but so I'm going to go back to my track 1 and track 2 real quick. Again, track 1, folks, we have a whole bunch of great materials you can utilize. If you want to, maybe you're saying, hey, I'm not a planner. I'm not really going to do the track 2. I'm not going to use the program, but you can use our materials. You can have better one-off conversations with your farm and ranch clients. We can apply those guidelines if you're going to do some long-term care or insurance. It's just being able to utilize some of the materials that we put together for farm and ranch specifically, right? So, Tara, I'm going to turn it back over to you in a minute here, but I just wanted to kind of put out a couple different websites that you guys can go to. The nationwide.com/yourland is our public website. You don't need to, have a login or anything for this site. It's available for public use. There's a whole bunch of information out there. You can also get access to our Ag Insight Center, which comes from our property and casualty side of the business. And so all the, that side of the business that does farm and ranch business, they've got a whole bunch of material and blogs and white papers out there about things all farm related. But, somebody who wants to just do a little bit more searching about our program without, having somebody looking over their shoulder, they can go to the website. Just a ton of information out there. I know some of you probably on the call might be New York Life or Northwestern Mutual. I want to let you know that right now this program is not available. So I don't want to put something out there that you're not going to be able to use at this point in time. If you do like it and want to use it, I would say go to your back office and say, hey, this is a program we'd like to get going here. At the end of the day, it's not a product, right? So it should be a little bit easier to get approved there. But at this point in time, those two firms are not available. So again, if you have interest, let your internal know. We'll get some scheduled trainings set up in the next month or so, and we'll go from there. Tara, I'm out of time. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Great. Thank you, Tim. Just, what I love about this is that it really is in the best interest of the consumer, of those farmers and ranchers, and as a complimentary service. And, there's really no cost, like you said, except for the farmer's time, which we know for them it's a lot. And, once the plan gets in motion to be implemented, those costs of attorneys and CPAs, which is a cost they probably already have in their budget anyway. One thing that I think that some of our listeners would find very interesting is if life insurance or annuities are found to be part of this plan and is a need to help fund portions of the plan. Tim, can you tell us what's the average premium on those cases?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Tara. I mean, the cases are very, very large typically. I mean, our average life case when somebody goes through the full planning can typically see something that's up to $125,000 in first year target premium from a life standpoint. From an annuity standpoint, our average case is about $635,000. I'm still trying to get my arms around those numbers, quite frankly, because I think they're very large. But that's what we're seeing. We're starting to work with larger and larger farms and ranches, and so these are some of the, these are big, multi-million-dollar operations that are trying to, successfully get to the next level. So that's really what we're seeing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate the sneak peek of this program that Nationwide has to offer. Thank you, Tim. With over 2 million family farms in the U.S. and only 1/3 having a transition in place, so for our math folks out there, that equates to over 1.3 million family farms that have a need. That's a lot of opportunity for us to serve clients and create incredible value for those clients. So if the land is your legacy is appropriate to your book of business and to the clients you currently serve, and you're interested in offering this program, we will be reaching out to you today, inviting you to participate in one of the 1-hour required trainings. We are currently getting those set up. And as always, if you have a case to discuss, please call one of us, your internal wholesalers here at Financial Markets. We look forward to helping you with your next case. So let's get started and draw our first finalist. Now, our hat has been shuffling. Let me just pull our hat up here into our screen. I'm going to give it one last shuffle. Again, we have 5,212 tickets from our producers in this drawing. And we're going to drop them into our hat and draw our first finals. Now, Vice President Neil Sperling, he's helping me verify these names and who is on the call today. In our first drawing, first finalist, Russell Lane with 15 tickets in the hat. Neil, is Russ on the call?
And Mr. Lane is not on the call.
Okay, folks, you do have to be on the call in order to qualify. So we are going to draw, and we're looking for our first finalist, Noel Volkin with 69 tickets. Is Noel on the call?
And Noel is on the call.
Congratulations, Noel. You are our first finalist. Now, before we get to the next couple of draws, I just want to mention a great tool that's available to you at no cost on our website, fmiAgent.com. This is Annuity Rate Watch. At fmiAgent.com, you can access Annuity Rate Watch and find the most current rates, product features, commission rates, and more from all of our annuity carriers. Check out fmiAgent.com Annuity Rate Watch today. It will help you choose the right products and recommendations for your clients. Now to our second and third finalists. Kirby Bowden with 244 tickets. Is Kirby on today's call?
And Kirby is not on the call.
Okay, we are looking for our second finalist. Wayne Martin with 202 tickets. Is Wayne on today's call?
I just got a text message from Kirby that she is on the call. So,
okay.
So Kirby is on the call. She must be on audio only.
Okay.
And I do see that Wayne Martin is on the call.
All right. So to recap, we have Noel Volkin, Kirby Bowden, and Wayne Martin as our first three finalists. Now, the Virtual Sales Assistant is another great tool that you will find on our website, fmiAgent.com. This program has tools and resources that can't be explained in today's webinar. We don't have enough time for that. But this resource gives you access to specimen legal documents such as trusts, business agreements, financial agreements. Also has a library of medical conditions as they relate to life insurance underwriting. The sales concept page is also very helpful. It provides 1 and 2 page concepts that help you explain topics to your clients. For example, estate tax, taxable versus non-taxable disability income plans, buy-sell arrangements, key person business insurance, and much more. These resources are available to you at fmiAgent.com. Check it out today and see for yourself. Now we're on to our fourth and fifth finalists. Let's see who our fourth finalist will be. Paula Wright. Is Paula on the call?
And Paula is not on the call.
Okay, we are looking for our fourth finalist. And Wayne Martin, he is already a finalist, can only be drawn once. Kelly Bowerly with 49 tickets. Is Kelly on the call today?
And Kelly is on the call.
Congratulations, Kelly. You are our fourth finalist. And we're looking for our fifth finalist now. Donna Zaranska with 142 tickets. Is Donna on the call?
And Donna is not on the call.
Okay, let's see if we can find our fifth finalist. John Dady with 76 tickets. Is John on the call today?
We have some Johns, but not that one.
Okay. We are still looking for our fifth finalist. Charles Strickland with 181 tickets. Is he on the call today?
And Chip is on the call.
Congratulations, Chip, for being our fifth finalist in our summer drawing. Let me get this out of the way here. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Neil, so you can introduce our next year trip.
All right. Well, thank you, Tara. Congratulations to those in the final 5 drawing. And thank you very much for that presentation on the Land is Your Legacy. That's such an incredible thing that Nationwide is doing and really can certainly help your business from a production standpoint, but really help those farmers and ranchers out there keep those family farms in the family. So moving on to the 2024 FMI Agent Point Awards trip. Hey guys, with as little as $1 million of annuity premium or 30,000 of life premium or any combination, you and your guests could be on your way to the next amazing FMI Agent trip. The trip will be aboard the beautiful Celebrity Cruise Line ship called the Celebrity Summit. For 6 days, you and a guest will enjoy the pools, dining, and recreation aboard this 2,200 passenger ship that has over 1,000 crew members, making sure that you cruise in comfort and class. The sail dates are set for Saturday, April 5th through Thursday, April 10th, 2025. And the FMI Agent Point Awards trips have included several cruises in the past, most of which were aboard Royal Caribbean cruise lines, which are always impressive. The Celebrity cruise lines are also owned by Royal Caribbean, and they position the Celebrity brand as a step up in luxury, and it's sure to impress. So we look forward to hosting the qualifiers on this relaxing and unforgettable cruise. And with that, I'll turn it back to Tara to see who our winner is.
Thank you, Neil. We are looking forward to that cruise, aren't we? All right, I have our finalists in our hat. We got them shuffled up. We'll just drop them in the hat. Let's see who our winner is today. Noelle Vulcan. Congratulations, Noelle. You have won our FMI Agent Summer Drawing, and we'll be contacting you for your choice of a patio fire pit or a stainless steel grill. Congratulations to our runners-up in winning the Amazon gift card. Fall is around the corner, and so is our next promotion. The grand prize for our fall giveaway is your choice of a locking gun safe or a PlayStation 5 or Xbox X Series gaming console. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for your partnership and your loyalty. We'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day.